This report will summarize the Forever Being Changed project for First Baptist Church. This is based on the summary prepared January 30th, which was presented to and approved by the congregation at an annual business meeting. The first 17 slides in the PowerPoint describe what we considered phase one of the project. On slide 2, it talks about what the building committee has done since the Strategic Planning Committee's April 6th report was approved by the congregation. You'll notice on the points on slide 2 that we found a couple of developments in the course of working with the architect that changed the nature of elements of the project. The first was that we found some anticipated building code issues which impacted the structure of the building, firewalls and doors, fire alarm system, and even potential fire protection sprinklers. The other was that we found that we had an opportunity to expand a portion of the project to provide additional conference or classroom space in the building. And so we added that to the recommended portion of the project. The other thing that slide emphasized, that what we thought would originally be a two-phase project is now a three-phase project. The original project, as recommended by the Strategic Planning Committee, is listed on slide 3, and I will just say that it has changed from that and not go through those elements. There were developments during the course of the review with the architect, and those are shown on slide 4. Design development included the requirement for firewalls and doors to separate the building into 4 separate structures from a viewpoint of fire protection. That will really not be visible, except there will be changes to the entrance doors at the sanctuary from the foyer. The other was that we have to replace our fire alarm system and upgrade it. Very expensive, $120,000. If we do the firewalls and doors and the fire alarm system, that avoids the need to put in a sprinkler system costing $250,000. That was a significant savings, which obviously pays for itself in a way. The other was that if we add any space to the building, we now have to add additional public restroom space, additional fixtures. And you'll see later in the report that the building committee is now recommending that be completed within phase 1, with other elements in phase 2 and 3. On slide 5, we discovered that the roof design over what would have been an expanded foyer and office area now provides the opportunity for 2 large classrooms on the second floor and a 3rd classroom on the lower level down by Noah's Ark Lane. If we're going to do this work on the front to the foyer, it also makes sense to lift up or raise the existing porte cochere or drive under canopy so we get clearance under there for buses and larger vehicles, which we don't currently have. And the other opportunity is that we look to expand sanctuary seating by hopefully placing some seating in the balcony. On slide 6, this summarized the review of the building infrastructure by our engineering consultants, Martin and Rogers. The significant items there were the 2 of our boilers really are in need of replacement. Some of our PTAC units, or these through-the-wall air conditioning units, are due for replacement, and other items will be up for replacement within 5 years. Our fire alarm system does not meet code and needs to be replaced, but our electrical and plumbing systems are in good shape. Slide 7 talks about expanding the sanctuary seating. This was one of the things we really wanted to do within this project. Before, we had looked at expanding the current sanctuary. Constructing a brand new sanctuary was cost prohibitive at a cost of $5 million, or in excess of $5 million. We tried adding a Saturday evening service, but that didn't provide any significant relief to our 10:30 a.m. Service capacity issues. However, since that time, we've added audio and visual capability to the Springer Chapel, renamed it the Wiggle Room, so that people can go there and participate in the service, and we see that growing. Also, we're now live streaming both worship services on the radio and internet, which makes it possible for people to hear and see from home. The pastoral staff and deacons are beginning to consider adding maybe a third service on Sunday morning, but that is not being recommended at this time. It's just something they're studying. The other thing that's still under review is exactly how much can we expand seating within the existing balcony, and we're waiting for additional structural answers to make that happen. So, on slide 8, we refer to the fact that we're now going into a 3-phase project, with the first phase being accomplished with available funds. We don't want to take out a mortgage. We're recommending that the public restrooms be included in the first phase, but that the foyer or narthex or vestibule, whatever you want to call it, and the office addition be moved to a phase 2 project. And then the 2 big pieces yet to remain after that, the lower level welcome center and expansion of the youth center on that lower level, would become a phase 3 project. We had looked at changes to our existing nurseries within the projects, but we bumped that to the trustees, and they're looking at some minor internal changes with an overall expansion now planned for phase 3. So phase 1 now includes these elements as shown on slide 9. A storage building or pole building, which would be built out on the property closer to Route 642 to allow us to empty out the current garages. We would then renovate the current garage space for youth center or youth programs. We would expand the public restrooms adjacent to the kitchen on the lower level, adjacent to the Springer Family Life Center. Hopefully we'll put additional seating in the balcony so we expand our seating capacity. Also in phase 1 would be the installation of a walk-in refrigerator or freezer attached to the kitchen. We would upgrade the heating and ventilating systems in the Beveridge Family Life Center. We would abandon our current sand mound or on-site septic system in favor of connecting to the municipal system out along Route 642. And we would expand our security system as needed, the camera system, and also provides furnishings for phase 1. So here's some pieces of phase 1. The storage building, 2,400 square feet. That's about double the size of our current garages. Then the current garage is shown on slide 11. It's really shown and outlined in this darker area, which I'm tracing with the mouse. Just to the left of this is the current Beveridge Family Life Center, and back here is a current classroom. So this is existing space. The current garage doors are along the lower level here, and you can see that they would be replaced with doors. This really just converts the use of that space. It really doesn't put much in terms of walls or furnishings within those spaces. It does carve out a space at the back corner for some electrical gear. Slide 12 demonstrates the expansion of the public restrooms on the lower level, where the typing is at the bottom, the wording, that's currently the Beveridge Family Life Center. To the left here is the current kitchens, and current classrooms are shown to the right. So this takes the current restroom and adds another one of the classrooms to it to double the size of the restrooms, with a men's room and a women's room with, you can see the writing at the bottom says how many fixtures are in each one. There's also a single shower in each one of these restrooms, which would be handicapped accessible. In fact, these restrooms would be fully handicapped accessible with 2 sinks, 2 of the commodes in each one, and the shower in each one. There are a couple of options for balcony seating. Option 1 leaves the sound room in place but takes out the mother's nursing room up in the balcony, and shows expansion of about 49 seats. Another option which we're looking at would take out the sound room and the nursing mother's room, add another stairwell to the side. That has an option shows 68 seats. Neither one has been totally vetted and is not being recommended as a solution at this point. Slide 15 is a pictorial representation of this expanded walk-in refrigerator and freezer space adjacent to the current kitchens. The kitchens are here. Here's the current library. This is the storage room there's a outside stair right in this area, which would be converted to a hallway, and then a new concrete wall would be built at that lower level to accommodate the new walk-in freezer and refrigerator. The site plan for Phase 1 demonstrates these various elements. Route 642 is at the bottom of the slide. The driveways are shown on the left-hand side. The dark gray is the existing building. The one element on the right-hand side is the proposed location for the new storage building. The renovation of the current garage is demonstrated with this piece. The changes to the restrooms adjacent to the kitchen are here, and the refrigerator freezer is shown in this little piece. And then there's also a requirement to house a space for the floor care equipment, which is currently stored in the garage. That would be just outside the kitchen. This is a summary of Phase 1. We anticipate it costing just short of $700,000 at $690,250. You can see the elements and their cost, with the storage building at $85,000, the youth center or garage conversion at $159,500. We think that's a very conservative number because we hope to do some of that work with in-house labor and save some of the labor costs. The expanded public restrooms are expensive at $155,000, but necessary. And then the other elements as shown here are lesser dollars, but you can read through them and see what's included in Phase 1. I will tell you that the architectural and engineering fees at $95,000 are high for this phase, but it includes a lot of preliminary work that we did to get to this point in the project. So a lot of the preliminary design fees have already been incurred for Phases 2 and 3, plus the building code investigation, which was extensive. And so that's the total for Phase 1. The church has approved spending these dollars for Phase 1, proceeding in construction and renovation, and going ahead with the project. About $600,000 was allocated from existing funds in the building and memorial funds and the general fund. So that left about $90,000 yet to be raised, which we anticipate to come in over the next several months as Phase 1 is accomplished. Those 17 slides then finish the summary of Phase 1.